Introduction to Service Operations Management. What is service? Service is deed or processes that is done for getting some service. While the goods are being manufactured, they are different from service. They have got shape, size, you can feel it. And while the services are being rendered, they are intangible. Services definition defined by James Fitzsimmons. A service is time perishable, intangible experience performed for a customer acting in the role of co-producer. Service enterprises are organizations that facilitate the production and distribution of goods, services, and support other firms in meeting their goals and add value to their personal lives. There are some differences between services and goods. Let me explain the key differences, key attributes of services. Perishability. Services are time perishable. They die, the capacity of the service, they die with the time. They are for a particular period. Intangibility. So services are intangible. Services are being given, one receives the service, but you cannot touch it or it does not have, it cannot be measured. So depends on reputation of the firm and advertising. Heterogeneity means services is varying from one service provider to another provider. In case of goods, they are produced in homogeneous. Like one product will be same as the other product of same product. But if you talk service being delivered by one service provider, then the other one, there will be variation in the quality of service being delivered. So that's called heterogeneity. Simultaneity means when the service is being given, the service is being consumed at the same time. Take the example of a education service. I am delivering a lecture and the student is receiving the service. So buying and sale is happening together. Customer participation in the service process. In most of the services, customer is present when the service is being given, whether it is a healthcare service or is a hospitality. Like when you go to a doctor or hospital, the doctor is diagnosing the patient is present there. He is describing his disease, the problem, doctor is diagnosing the disease. So the patient and doctors, they are present together. So customer presence is very much required in case of service. These are some differences explained in the tabular form. Tangibility, I have already explained. Tangible, the goods are tangible. They can be seen, they can be touched, while the services are intangible. Transfer of ownership. Goods once sold to the other person, the buyer becomes the owner. While in case of services, the service provider remains the owner of the service. Material form. Goods are material form, while services are amenities, benefits, or facilities being provided. Quality management. Quality in case of goods, it can be measured easily with the dimensions, weight, what we call volume, viscosity, density. But in case of services, it's very difficult to measure the service. It can be measured by taking a feedback of the customer, how good is the service, how poor is the service. Inventory. The goods can be stored, stocked, while the services cannot be stocked. They are perishable. Production and consumption. So production and consumption, in case of goods are produced one time, they can be stocked and sold later. But while the services are being rendered and these being consumed simultaneously. Homogeneity, most of the goods are homogeneous. Physical characteristics and specifications remain same from one product A, 1, 2, 3. But in case of services, it will vary from one service provider to another service provider. You go to a doctor, let us say the heart specialist, the same patient goes to heart specialist A, heart specialist B, they will get the different kind of service. Return or exchange. Goods once sold can be returned and it can be exchanged also. But the services, once it is provided, cannot be returned. So goods are separated from the seller, means The seller can be somebody, manufacturer can be somebody, but in case of selling services, the service provider and service seller, they remain same. They cannot be, they are not separable.